I played a lot of Dauntless when its open beta first released back in May of last year. It was a refreshing take on the monster hunting genre with lots of charm and very unique mechanics. However, I eventually stopped playing because my old laptop wasn't capable of running the game too well, which is why I didn't make any videos on it back then. But now that I have an actual gaming PC, I have been playing a lot of Dauntless for the last month or so. I'm happy to say that when I logged back in the game, I was pleasantly surprised by all of the changes that were made to Dauntless since its open beta launch. Phoenix Labs has been doing a fantastic job of listening to community feedback and improving the already spectacular game with plenty of big updates. So with that being said, my name is DarkHero and today I will be talking about the State of Dauntless in 2019. In this video, I will be going over how much Dauntless has changed over the past year, what new things you can do in the game, as well as what the recent updates added to Dauntless. Speaking of which, I was also quite surprised that when I was checking the Path of the Slayer update in Dauntless for the first time, I got an email from Dauntless about a sponsored video. As such, I am very happy to say thank you to Dauntless for sponsoring this video. You can download Dauntless for free at playdauntless.com/r/DarkHeroGaming channel. I will also include a link in the description that you can use to download the game. Also, make sure to use my support a creator code at checkout in the Epic Games Store. You can see the code right here on screen and it will also be listed in the description. Using my code does actually support me, so I would be very appreciative if you could use it. Now, going back to the topic of the video. Of course, there have been plenty of quality of life changes or significant updates to the user interface that have improved the player experience in Dauntless, such as the die system rework or the campaign rework. While those changes may be important and impactful, I would like to focus on some bigger things, such as the behemoths. Your job as a slayer is, naturally, to hunt behemoths in the Shattered Isles. So let's talk about behemoths. The open beta launched with 16 different behemoths and Phoenix Labs has since added 3 new ones. Those being Boreas, Velomir and Rift Stalker. Boreas is a giant frost behemoth that is able to control a horde of minions that he will manipulate with its powerful psionic abilities to protect himself from incoming enemies. Velomir is a radiant behemoth with an alien appearance that ejects his energy in the form of hard light beams that tear up the earth beneath its feet and any organic life foolish enough to get in its way. And the third one, Rift Stalker, is a mysterious umbral behemoth that has the ability to open and move through umbral rifts, dark swirling portals to another dimension. As you can tell from their descriptions as well as their looks, these creatures are quite unique, and I would assume that they are developing a brand new one that is probably going to be added to the game shortly after the console versions of Dauntless are released. And of course, one could not talk about slaying behemoths without mentioning weapons and gear. Weapons in Dauntless are pretty complex as is, with each of them having unique special abilities as well as offering very distinct playstyles. When the open beta for Dauntless first released, there were only 5 different weapons, and none of them were ranged weapons, which is something that the community had been asking for quite some time. Phoenix Labs heard all that feedback and so players got a brand new weapon, the Ostian Repeaters, in October of last year. On top of being the only ranged weapon in Dauntless, the repeaters stand out due to their modular nature, and by that I mean they are uniquely customizable as each of the 4 parts that make up these weapons, the barrel, the chamber, the grip and the prism, can be swapped in and out to change the way you play. The barrel dictates the element of your attacks. Apply the blaze barrel to deal blaze damage. Apply the shock barrel to deal shock damage. You get the point. The chamber changes your skill shot ability. The salvo chamber fires an explosive missile in a straight line that deals great damage. The marksman chamber, on the other hand, fires a shot in a line dealing decent damage. If a behemoth part is hit, that part will be marked and will take significantly more damage from shots for a short period of time. The grip determines your throw ability. The Captain's Grip launches a collectible buff that grants increased attack speed and damage for a short period of time. The Saboteur's Grip launches a deployable mine that can deal massive damage and interrupt behemoths. As for prisms, there are 6 of them, and each of them apply a different passive bonus. Reloading while standing close to a behemoth will empower the repeaters, increasing your damage output. Range drop-off can also be quite severe, so you are incentivized to stay close to the behemoth and engage in combat in an aggressive playstyle rather than passively staying in the back firing a few rounds. The Ostian repeaters are a wonderful addition to Dauntless. They are fun and unique and have very quickly become one of my favorite weapons to use because of the playstyle they offer, but also because of their vast array of customization options. Speaking of customization, thanks to recent updates you now have more options than ever for customizing your weapons and altering the way each of them function thanks to alternative weapon specials as well as weapon mods. For example, the hammer's default special ability, Concussive Salvo, has the player loading ammo into the explosive hammer before releasing, damaging and interrupting behemoths. However, the hammer's new special ability, the Mighty Landbreaker, buffs players by creating an Aether Vent, allowing for hammer users to take on the role of a support player. Likewise, the Warpike also counts with an ability that replaces the offensive concussive payload that allows players to fire a missile that deals damage and interrupts behemoths with Salvage Wellspring that creates an aura that buffs nearby allies. However, these alternative special abilities aren't exclusively supportive, as can be seen with the sword's Ardent Cyclone that makes the player do a tornado spin while damaging surrounding enemies. Weapon mods also provide another layer of customization by giving you unique benefits that may synergize with some builds, further increasing the amount of depth and complexity you have in Dauntless in terms of creating your very own loadouts that fit your playstyle. For example, the sword has 3 different weapon mods. Adhesive Hilt, which makes you unstaggerable while you are using your special ability, Reactive Hilt that guarantees that your dodge attacks will deal a critical strike, and finally we have the Perpetual Blade Core, which causes damage dealt while in special to generate a small amount of special meter. Here we have 3 different options that complement 3 different playstyles. If you prefer to not be interrupted while you are in your special, then go with Adhesive Hilt. If you are someone who likes to dodge a lot and maybe even uses skills that emphasize that, such as Evasion or Evasive Fury, then you may enjoy using the Reactive Hilt. And finally, Perpetual Blade Core might be the answer for you if you wish to extend the duration of your special abilities. All other weapons come with multiple different mods to play around with and find a loadout that best suits you. And of course, since we are in the topic of weapons and mods, I would be remiss not to mention exotic weapons and armor. Exotic gear have unique abilities that are exclusive to them and cannot be found anywhere else in the game. Let me give you an example of my favorite exotic so far. This is the Molten Edict Hammer. Thanks to this exotic's unique ability, the explosive ammunition on the hammer has been replaced with molten lava ammunition. And boy oh boy does this thing get crazy. Whenever you do a finisher in a combo and hit the behemoth, a huge orb of lava is summoned and will track the behemoth and will cause a massive explosion that deals a lot of damage. You can also fire long range fireballs, and if you hold the button to release the ability, then you will be able to charge all of your ammunition and fire a single giant fireball that will deal massive damage and cause damage over time. Exotics are a very welcome addition to Dauntless as they can be quite creative and break the mold, and also help spice up your loadouts. Still on the topic of loadouts, another component that is key in terms of creating your own build are the cells. Cells are items obtained from cores that can be placed in sockets on weapons, armor and lanterns. They provide a perk tier bonus based on their rarity. Uncommon cells give you 1 point, rare cells give you 2 points, and epic cells give you 3 points. There are many types of cells, and within each type of cell there are many different cells that will give you different perks. These perks are the very same perks that you have on your armor pieces or weapons, and as such, cells are fundamental when it comes to creating a build or a loadout. As you play through the game and increase your master rank, something we'll talk about in a moment, you will collect various different cells. Cells have been a part of Dauntless before the open beta even released. However, since then, cells have undergone a lot of changes. Most importantly is that now you are able to craft your own cells. You can go up to the middleman NPC and exchange resources in order to purchase a few cells that are available for sale for a certain period of time before they rotate, or you could combine cells that you have in order to create a new one. It's a very simple system, and as an example, let's say that you combine 2 rare cells. As a result, you will end up with an epic cell at the end. Also, the type of cell that you get as a result of combining the cells depends on which type of cells you use to create the new one. So if you were, for example, to use 2 defense cells, you are always going to get a defense cell at the end. But if you were to combine a defense cell with a mobility cell, then you might either get a defense cell or a mobility cell. If you are looking to get into the endgame of Dauntless, then you will be visiting the middleman NPC very frequently, so do not forget about how this works. The crafting of weapons and armor has also undergone a few changes recently. A new type of material, which are these elemental orbs and arc stones, are now going to be required whenever you want to craft and upgrade weapons and armor. You can easily get these orbs by breaking behemoth parts and by completing different patrols. This change was made so that you wouldn't have to farm the same behemoth over and over and over again just to upgrade the weapon for the 10th time. So as you will be fighting different types of behemoths, you will be accumulating these orbs that you can use to upgrade your various equipment, so you don't have to worry about that as much. On top of that, there is a daily bonus that doubles the amount of orbs you get for the very first patrol you do each day, so as you can imagine, you can easily accumulate tons of orbs very quickly, and this serves as an incentive to keep you logging back to the game each day. And of course, I need to talk about the mastery system, which is one of the biggest additions, if not the biggest addition that Dauntless has ever seen. The mastery system will be how you progress through Dauntless. It may seem overwhelming at first, but it's actually pretty simple. Basically, as you hunt behemoths, destroy behemoth parts, as you craft different armors and weapons, and as you use the different weapons, you will be progressing through these mastery cards that will then give you different rewards as you level up. The higher your mastery rank in each of these categories is, the higher your Slayer level will be. As you level up, you will gain cell cores, different materials and consumables, and it is by increasing the different weapon masteries that you end up unlocking the different weapon specials and the different weapon mods. So the more you use a specific weapon, the more rewards you're going to get for it. This system is brilliant because it gives you a lot of stuff for you to do and to chase after, and it's something that incentivizes players to try out the different weapons and to go up against different behemoths, including the ones that they may not hunt as much. Another feature that was recently added to Dauntless and that I am a big fan of is the Hunt Pass. The Hunt Pass is a way for you to earn special seasonal rewards. You can complete weekly challenges that will level up your Hunt Pass and will give you more rewards. These rewards include cosmetics, consumables, and even platinum. All players have access to the basic track, which will give you some valuable rewards and a good amount of platinum, and players can also purchase the elite track, which will give them even more rewards and exclusive transmogrifications. The elite track for the Hunt Pass costs 1000 platinum, but if you manage to make it all the way to the end at level 50, which trust me doesn't take a lot as I'll explain in a moment, you will be able to get 500 platinum back, so you are essentially paying only half the price. Hunt Pass Season 5 is called Hidden Blades and features a ninja-like aesthetic that I am a huge fan of. I mean seriously, look at these emotes, you can summon a dog or use a substitution jutsu. As I said earlier, you can level up the Hunt Pass by completing the weekly challenges, but you can also level up the Hunt Pass by breaking behemoth parts and by collecting these kunai knives that you will see spread throughout Ramsgate, which is the hub of the game. There will be 10 of these hidden in Ramsgate each day, and each of them will give you 5 points towards your hunt pass progression, so if you log in every day you are able to get 50 points towards your hunt pass progression without even having to play a single quest. And one really cool thing is that you will often see other players running around Ramsgate trying to find these items to level up their own hunt pass. Speaking of which, let's talk about the social aspect of Dauntless, which is one of my favorite things that the game has. Not only is the community very helpful and kind, but it is very easy to find other people to talk to invite to go on hunts with you, and it's just so cool to see other players roaming around the map and just being able to talk to them, to share your emotes and see what they look like. And if you are a new player, you're going to see these high level players that have these really cool armor sets, and that is going to motivate you to get to their level so that you are able to craft those armor sets. On top of that, you can also create your own guild or become a part of one. Speaking of which, I have created my own Wiggler squad, so if you guys want to be part of that, make sure you add me on Dauntless and I will invite you to my guild. And of course, one thing that I absolutely cannot miss talking about is crossplay. I have put probably over 100 hours into Dauntless already, and now that console players will finally be able to play Dauntless, many of my friends are going to want to try the game, and I will want to play along with them. But at the same time, I would feel discouraged from having to create a brand new character and having to level all the way up. But thanks to crossplay, I will be able to play from my PC with people that are playing on the PlayStation 4 or on the Xbox One. That is an awesome feature that most games nowadays are missing. Something like this should never be overlooked. Now, for the future of Dauntless, another cool thing that Phoenix Labs is trying to do is to put the game on the Nintendo Switch. This is something they announced a while back, and they have also said that they are trying to get Dauntless on mobile, but I'm not sure how that will work. But seeing as there are games such as Fortnite and PUBG on mobile, I'm pretty sure that we will be able to see Dauntless coming to our mobile phones very soon. Other than that, expect new weapons and new behemoths to come very soon, as I'm sure the Dauntless team is working very hard right now to give us some new content for the newcomers to enjoy. Now, more than ever is the perfect time to jump back into Dauntless if you ever played it before, or to start playing it for the first time. The game is a lot of fun, and again, it is free to play, so you have nothing to lose. If you want to play Dauntless, you can use the link in the description below to download the game, and you can also use my support a creator code at the market in the game, as that will help me out. Once again, a big thank you to Dauntless for sponsoring this video. I was very excited to do it because I had already planned to make this video along with many other Dauntless videos that you will be seeing on my channel, so this was the perfect opportunity for me. With that being said, if you have enjoyed this video, then please leave it a like, as it takes less than a second and it helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and turn on channel notifications if you don't want to miss an ounce of Dauntless content. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. My name is DarkHero and happy hunting!